Rahman Rahim. Welcome students, and as you know, we are going through the debate of issue of governance in Pakistan over the 66 years, and we will continue discussion in this lecture and in the coming lectures. And if you remember, we talked about how this crisis governance issue linked with the plight of the civil society. So as I used to repeatedly said, that it is not a matter of 1 or 2 years, 1 or 2 decades. It has got momentum over the years and years, and each policy maker, each ruler and each era is responsible to this bad governance, and ultimately the conflicts, the fragmentation, the polarization of the society, he has contributed in to small or more way. Most of the time we say that the development concept was, although there was the development, but we called it the development crisis, that there was more urbanization without any break, without any planning. There was the people concentration of the death in different eras, not now talking about generally speaking for this or that time. The society was being ignored. There was the bond between the society and the state was being eroded. The government was involved in other activities like the Afghan war in 1979 and others. Politicians were fighting with each other. Lotocracy was there. Horse trading was there, and the society was being ignored over time. But what happened, as the knowledge emerged, the media became strong, that now there has been the pressure on the civil society. The pressure of civil society on the government to take care of them. So then there was another crisis, that there was the loop-sided and the asymmetrical development कि कुछ इलाकों में तो बहुत लोगों पर खर्च किया गया, metro buses भी उसमें आ गई, but at the same time the people are the metro bus is there where the people have no drinking water facilities, no proper sewerage, no residents there. So these were some of the conflicting policies. Definitely one of the reason for this that there was not the continuity of the policies, because very few governments completed their tenures, particularly the political governments, and these were the non-representative governments that completed their tenures. So there was the issue of armed mafia, influx of the Afghan Muhajirin, and many other factors led to the erosion of the civil society, undermined civil society right. Civil society was being oppressed, civil society was being ignored, and there was no one to take care of them. But fortunately now the situation is getting changed, but unfortunately the debt is a major crisis for Pakistan, and we should all pray that we get out of all these problems, and we can get out of this by making better the system of the governance. And this situation, and we see in this lecture that how the internal conflicts and state powers, हम ये देख रहे हैं कि स्टेट पावर जो सोसाइटी मीन्स द डेमोक्रेटिक द पॉलिटिकल गवर्नमेंट, स्टेट पावर से ये कैसे आहिस्ता आहिस्ता फ्रेगमेंटेशन हुई, पोलराइजेशन हुई, ब्यूरोक्रेसी बिकेम स्ट्रॉन्गर, army became stronger. So what were the factors for this? Because we wanted the dominance of the civil society rather than the bureaucracy and the military. In recent years, the society has polarized along religious. ये जरा आप grounds देख लें कि कोई भी ऐसा शोबा नहीं है. I may miss many of here, but you can say that along what were these? Along the religious, that these were the fragmentation or the polarization was along the religious grounds, ethnicity, communal and regional lines. जो कौम इन 4 factors पे जो है वो definitely polarized हो जाए, how it is really very difficult to address its problem. Every Pakistani is now killing to each other. No foreign we did not have such a huge loss in the wars against India that we are facing nowadays in Pakistan, suicide bombing and the killing of the people in Karachi, many others, ransom, bhatta mafia, everything is there. So now it will create the conflicts and it will weaken the state power, which has undermined social values. In सब चीज़ों ने हमारी जो social, it is very interesting to mention here that despite the society is being ruled by the state laws, but there are some social values that keep the society very close to each other and avoid its polarization. But due to these many factors, over the years, now the social values between the societies are also getting eroded, कमज़ोर होती चली जा रही हैं. And what is the ultimate result? The result is that there is more and more polarization, fragmentation, conflicts, wars, ethnicity, religiosity, and community and the regionality. So these all factors are affecting this problem, undermined through which diverse communities have lived together in a pluralistic society. हम कई सालों से, if you go to the British India, we have been the same nation across the borders. Only the difference of religion, and it has become more as many people were migrated in 1947. Otherwise, the people were living together. Even the Hindus, the non-Muslim were living together. अब तो पाकिस्तान में सिर्फ 5% भी नहीं है the non-Muslim. Then what is the ethnicity? What is the religious? What is the other factors of this that are destroying the Pakistan? So these all factors hit directly to the pluralistic society. The social polarization is now fueled by violence. Violence, I discussed in the previous lecture. ये जो social polarization हो रही है, अब violence इसमें आता जा रहा है, due to poverty, due to the lack of basic necessities, lack of lack of education, lack of health facilities. It is imaginable, it is predictable that a person, when he falls into the trap of poverty, how he will get rid of them? Definitely, surely, and certainly he will go for some of the non-legal steps that are available to him, which raises the question of whether governance based on centralized state structure is feasible at all. इन बातों में हमें कुछ बातें सोचने पर जो है वो मजबूर कर दिया. Now all this is showing that is the centralized command system that in Pakistan, that the center is powerful now after the 18th amendment. It is not as powerful as it was previously powerful. Still it has enough powers. So whether we under these circumstances, now we are looking that is it a feasible way to govern the people in a centralized way, and we will see that if it is possible, or the provinces should be giving more and more autonomy. In my view, being a student, very you can say limited knowledge of the political science and the student of political science, I would suggest that the more power you give to the provinces, the more the federation becomes powerful, because many of the problems are solved at their doorsteps. Internal conflicts and state powers, जरा थोड़ा सा पीछे चलते हैं. Before Pakistan's, during the Mughal period, the autonomy of localized market persisted. अब देखें कि हर link जो है, I am very you can say surprised, but at the not name so surprised. Everything has a linking with the economy. अब ये देखें कि मुगलों के दौर में जो localized market थी, they were given autonomy, not much regulation by the government. तो इसका क्या हुआ? The colonial period house saw the production of a large surplus as well as its transfer abroad. मुगल दौर में क्या था? Definitely they became the resident of this area. So the all profits, all outflows were within the countries, within their empire. But as the Mughals went out of the scene and the colonialism, the British came, what was there? There were larger surplus. इस तरह से जो है वो market was manipulated that it was creating huge surplus to the bigger investors, and there was a transfer of this abroad. Definitely the profits were being transferred offshores, and the many of our raw materials, the profits, the gold and the silver, these were being transferred to the United States, the United Kingdom, the Great Britain, and after that the raw material was being processed, it was being value added, and ultimately it was being sold in the markets of the British India at a very high price as compared to its local price. तो दो तरह से नुकसान हो रहा था, एक तो खाम मटेरियल हमारा जा रहा था उधर at a very low price, the other was the same thing was coming back and we were buying it at the large price. This required much greater integration and restructuring of the domestic economy. अब इसका क्या हुआ कि जब ब्रिटिश चले गए in 1947, तो अगर तो मुगल वाला सिस्टम होता, that was not dangerous because ultimately everything was functioning on the demand and the other forces. Although this mechanism survives in all the markets, but the British manipulated this system in their own ways. So what was this required? This was required huge rehauling, restructuring, reframing, re-regulating of the market so that it could become according to the wishes of the domestic community. In the post-colonial period, the process of economic growth occurred within the framework of private enterprise. अब मेरे ख्याल में इन चीज़ों को मैं ज़्यादा अहमियत ना दूं क्योंकि ये चीज़ें मैं खासी एक्सप्लेन कर चुका हूँ. Just after the inception of Pakistan, independence of Pakistan in 47, there was a more role of the private enterprise that ultimately led to the concentration of the debt. The capitalist growth process in the post-colonial period in South Asian countries had the following three characteristics. So, जो South Asia, definitely it was comprises on the previously British India. Post-colonial period in South Asian countries had the following three characteristics. देखते हैं कि कौन से जो है वो, but at the keep an eye on this, that this was the capitalistic growth process. What is the capitalism and the communism? In the capitalist, the market is given more importance, and in the socialist, the most role is with the government. What were these three reasons? The first is the domestic economy became increasingly integrated with the world economy through the market mechanism. British से जो है वो क्या हुआ? Look at here, which were to have, what were these? Which were to have profound impact on the relationship between the state. We will discuss this. ये सारी जो इसमें जो है वो characteristic आई, ये इसलिए हम discuss कर रहे हैं because it has a significant effect on between the relationship of the states and the civil society. So what are these? Following three regions are post-colonial period of the growth process. क्या थे जी? पहला था जी, the domestic economy became increasingly integrated. मैंने बताया ना कि अंग्रेज, the British were transferring the wealth from here to there, and for this, after this, this situation continued, and this situation of market system continued, not the transferring of wealth, because now it was not transferring from here to there. Now there was more integration at the world level because it was the time to have relation with other nations, so it became the more liberalized. The structure which these economies has inherited from the colonial period made them exporters of primary commodities. अंग्रेजों ने यहाँ फैक्ट्रीज नहीं लगाई. Why? Because it was not in their favor. They were making market in such a way that the raw material was being transferred from this the gold of the sparrow of gold area, सोने की चिड़िया ये एरिया है, और यहाँ से जो है वो ट्रांसफ़र हो रहा था. तो जिस तरह अंग्रेज़ों ने जो है वो लेगेसी जहाँ पर मार्केट की छोड़ी, दिस कंटिन्यूड, and even still in Pakistan we are still exporting the basic commodities, the raw material, in other words the raw material. However, the significant change has become but still the share has not increased as significantly as it should be increased. So पहला क्या हुआ कि एक तो integration इसमें आ गई of the market. The other was that the legacy that was coming, that this market, these economies was just exporting the basic commodities. This the chain continues, and ultimately the situation remained the same. This occurred through the declining terms of trade. जब आपकी commodities जो है, export commodities are raw material, are the basic commodities, and on the other hand you are importing that are the value added goods, your terms of trade goes in against you rather than in favor of you. So this was the other reason. Thus growth benefits in the domestic economy were lost to the metropolitan economy. अब फिर वही जो है वो सोसाइटी के साथ इसका लिंक बन रहा है. इसमें हुआ क्या, द मेट्रोपॉलिटन इकोनॉमीज, द बिग सिटीज आर द सिटीज, द इकोनॉमीज वर कंसंट्रेटेड इनटू द सिटीज rather than expanding over all over the subcontinent or all over the Pakistan, all over the corners of the states. The second, this was the first one, the integration, domestic integration. The other was the economic growth increased inequalities. I will not just spoke more than one sentence because I have explained it in detail. कि economic growth चंद हाथों में जो है वो दौलत जो है वो मुंतकिल हो गई. Let me go further. The bottom, जरा सुन लें क्या, the bottom 40% of that population continued to be deprived of the basic necessities of food, housing, health and education. 40% लोग जो है वो बेचारे, and still not less than I think 30% are what the government is saying. The number is much higher than the government says, even not only in Pakistan but in India and other South Asian countries, because they have to convince the nation that they are doing something to reduce the poverty or that. 40% people were not getting the reasonable necessities, reasonable basics needs, that were the food, the housing, health. These are the basic and the education. अभी भी लोगों को जो है नहीं मिली. The state had only a very limited surplus owing to a low tax base. इसमें क्या हुआ कि शुरू से जो है वो प्रॉब्लम हो गया. The government had very low tax base and it was unable to address the problem of the massive mass population for this. Consequently क्या हुआ, the state has been unable to so far overcome poverty. यही वजह रही that the government could not reduce the poverty up to the required level. Facts and figure was there, but it was this weakened the state society bond. जब आप लोगों को गरीबी करते चले जाएंगे, लोगों के प्रॉब्लम हल नहीं करेंगे. Why people should be in favor of the state? Definitely they will have some reservations, some complaints and some conflicts with the philosophy of the state. The changing internal balance in the structure of state power. अब ये सारी चीज़ें हमने बैकग्राउंड इसकी जो है वो सेट कर दी है. अब आप ये देखेंगे कि बैलेंस ये जो है, ये बैलेंस था पॉलिटिकल गवर्नमेंट का और पॉलिटिकल गवर्नमेंट के पास पावर थे. ओवर द ईयर व्हाट हैपन दैट द पॉलिटिकल गवर्नमेंट का बैलेंस ऊपर चला गया, लेकिन पावरफुल जो है दैट वर द मिलिट्री एंड द ब्यूरोक्रेसी. सो वी हैव, ये बात तो अब तय है, बट वी हैव टू सी इट्स हिस्ट्री कि क्या क्या गुल खिलाए जो है वो लोगों ने और किस तरह से जो है वो हमें जो है वो हमें मीन्स स्टेट को जिक पहुंचाया कि आज हमें पावरफुल होना चाहिए था सोसाइटी को, पॉलिटिकल गवर्नमेंट को, बट स्टिल द पॉलिटिकल गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट इंडिपेंडेंट एंड इट इज गेटिंग सम ऑफ इट्स पावर्स इन डिक्टेशन फ्रॉम द मिलिट्री एंड द ब्यूरोक्रेसी. सो यू कैन से दैट इट इज ऑन it is on the behalf of the military and the bureaucracy. What is the changing relationship between the military and the bureaucracy can be understood in the context of the analytically distinction between interactive process. पहले तो हम ये देखते हैं कि मिलिट्री और ब्यूरोक्रेसी का ताल्लुक क्या रहा है ओवर द ईयर. यही दो जो है वो गवर्नेंस के जो है, पॉलिटिकल गवर्नमेंट गिव्स द ऑर्डर, the bureaucracy follows, and in extreme circumstances, the military also follows it. So military ने भी grow किया over the years. हमारी ये जो है ब्यूरोक्रेसी भी पावरफुल हुई. Definitely the political government became weaker and weaker. So what were these consequences? तो पहले तो हम लिंक करते हैं कि two major player of the Pakistan political landscape, that are the military and bureaucracy. तो आप मुझे बताएंगे कि इनमें से कौन सा पावरफुल था शुरू में, कैसे इसने पावर रीगेन किया. अब ये देखेंगे कि ये बड़ा खूबसूरत मैकेनिज्म, खूबसूरत तो मैं नहीं कहूँगा लेकिन टेक्टफुल मैकेनिज्म था, जिसमें द मिलिट्री बिकेम मोर पावरफुल, द ब्यूरोक्रेसी बिकेम फर्दर यू कैन से द further powerful, but the political system was on the back foot. These processes were conditioned by the dynamics of Pakistan's security environment. जब आप फौज को सिक्योरिटी का मसला होगा, डेफिनेटली द आर्मी और द ब्यूरोक्रेसी शुड हैव देयर रोल, particularly the army. For example, if we have to save from the threats of the war on terror or the TTP, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, definitely we will be depending on our soldiers to whom we are providing our food or the money to fight for them. So what was this? जो हमारे पाकिस्तान सिक्योरिटी एनवायरनमेंट का इस तरह से जियो पोलिटिकल इसने टर्न लिया, दैट दीज फैक्टर्स द मिलिट्री एंड ब्यूरोक्रेसी बिकेम फर्दर इम्पॉर्टेंट as compared to the political government. If our geostrategic position, there would have been no Afghan war after 1979, there have been no American invasion on Afghanistan, I am sure that the military has not been so powerful. Definitely there are rooms for the military, and when the military become powerful, military's role becomes more important, it becomes powerful. इसीलिए military is called at the last resort in law and order situation. आपने पिंडी का वाक़या देखा, the first ranger was called, and ultimately when it was seen that the government is unable to control, definitely the charge was given over to the military. The military and the rangers are not significantly different. Its foreign policy priorities, particularly the nature of its relationship with the United States. हमने बहुत सी चीज़ों पे इन ब्यूरोक्रेसी और मिलिट्री पे जो है वो हमने डिपेंड किया, लेकिन एक शुबा ऐसा है जिसमें हमेशा जो है द हायर रोल हैव बीन द मिलिट्री एंड द ब्यूरोक्रेसी, एंड दैट इज़ द रिलेशनशिप विद द यूनाइटेड स्टेट. कभी भी हमारे रिलेशनशिप जो है वो इस तरह से नहीं रहे कि हम उनको बहुत अच्छा कह सकें. एवरी टाइम देयर आर द स्टेक्स ऑफ द यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स, एंड देन डेफिनेटली दे आर यूजिंग अस फॉर देयर स्टेक्स. कभी जो है वो हमें इमदाद के वो दरिया बहा देते हैं, एंड व्हेन वी नीड देम तो उनका बहरी बेड़ा जो है वो बहर है, जो है वो हिंद में ही जो है वो दाखिल नहीं हो सकता. इट रिमेन समवेयर एल्स, एंड एवरी टाइम दे आर इंश्योरिंग दैट दे आर जस्ट गोइंग टू कम टू हेल्प अस अगेंस्ट इंडिया. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स. सो इट इज़ जस्ट टू रिमाइंड दैट देयर इज़ नो फ्रेंडशिप बिटवीन द स्टेट्स. These are the stakes, interest, benefits of the states that keep them engaged on negotiation, and every state wants to get maximum share of the cake by negotiating or by the others. तो इसमें हम ये कह रहे हैं कि मिलिट्री और जो ब्यूरोक्रेसी है यही आपकी पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है. तो इसमें हमने ये देखना है कि हाउ दे हैव गेन पावर ओवर दिस. तो हमने ये शो किया इन दिस स्लाइड दैट ड्यू टू द सिक्योरिटी डायनेमिक्स एंड द मेजर रोल ऑफ our relations with the United States, this has occurred over the years. Changes in the internal sociology of the military and the bureaucracy. Military और bureaucracy का mind जो sociology है इसमें भी over the years जो है वो बड़ी change आई है. No doubt that the political government have learned a lot, but still the military and bureaucracy have also gone through a rigorous evolution, and they have also changed their internal sociology. Right at this time, the military thinks that it is not suitable to interfere in the political government. It is better to sit back, to just keep their pressure and dictate the government rather than just coming on the front as did the Musharraf, Zia and the Ayub Khan. The other is the changes in the professional quality of officers and the internal cohesion of the institution. मिलिट्री और ब्यूरोक्रेसी में यहाँ से फ़र्क जो है वो शुरू हो जाता है. आप ये देखेंगे कि मिलिट्री के इंस्टीट्यूशन ओवर टाइम जो है वो ग्रो करते रहे, but at the same time the bureaucracy institution, we will talk about some of the institutions also, and we will see what were the factors that ultimately led to decline and decay of these institutions. तो इनमें प्रोफेशनल क्वालिटी का फ़र्क आया. आर्मी की जो है वो कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग होती रही, बिकॉज आर्मी kept on getting more and more resources, and further the army was independent. हमारा आइन कुछ भी कहता रहे, but the history shows and the real fact shows that the army has been the powerful stakeholder in the political landscape of Pakistan, and still there is not a significant change. Still there is much room for the government. This General Ashfaq Parvez Kiani, is much different from its forefathers. It has a very positive role he has played, and he will be remembered for his effort for the democracies. He is a very balanced general. He never allows to interfere the political government into the army affairs, and at the same time he never wants to go into the domains of the government, political government, and for this reason he is being respected. And I will say in respect of him that he has rehabilitated the foregone or the eroded respect of the army. The balance of power between the state apparatus on the one hand and the institution in civil society such as parliament and political parties, ये जो है वो चेंज होता रहा है. किसके दरमियान? स्टेट apparatus, मिलिट्री एंड द ब्यूरोक्रेसी, और जो इंस्टीट्यूशन है जो और उसमें जो है वो पॉलिटिकल गवर्नमेंट है, इसमें डिफरेंट जो है वो डायनामिक्स जो है वो रूनुमा होती रही. वी विल सी दिस डायनामिक्स बाय इरा from 1947 to 2013 in different context. The first is कि क्यों इनमें अब बात हो रही है. Keep in mind that we are talking about the gaining of power or getting more share of the power between the bureaucracy and the military, and we say that the bureaucracy lost momentum but the military got momentum in this. Institutional decay of the bureaucracy के जो institution थे, they went under decay and they were undermined. अब देखते हैं कि कौन से फैक्टर थे जिन्होंने इनको जो है वो डिस्टर्ब किया. During the last 66 years, Pakistan bureaucracy has undergone a gradual process of institutional decay. ग्रेजुअल प्रोसेस आएगा. आप ये देखेंगे कि कुछ इदारे हमारे इन 50s and 60s they were thought the symbol of pride and performance and the you can say the glamour and the grandeur, but nowadays they are losing their importance over time. The most important factor in the process has been a sharp decline in the intellectual caliber of civil servants. Indian civil service जो कि ब्रिटिश इंडिया में दैट वाज हैज इट्स नेम, इसके बारे में ये कहा जाता है कि इट्स कलेक्ट्स द क्रीम फ्रॉम द मिल्क, कि ये क्रीम को लोगों को जो है इकट्ठा करती है. एंड इट वाज ट्रू इन द सेंस दैट दीज सिविल सर्वेंट्स प्रूव्ड देम देयर वर्थ, and they showed that they were not chosen by pick and choose. They were on their abilities, and there was very high standard for these people, and there were high intellectual caliber of these people. But over the years, and our top bureaucracy also becomes from the inter-service CSS in the Pakistan. So, but over time, this institution, that is the CSP or the CSS, it has also declined over time. क्यों हुआ जी? This has been primarily caused by the virtual collapse of academic standards at colleges and the universities. From where this bureaucracy comes? This bureaucracy becomes from the colleges and the universities, and it is very sorry to say, even I am linked with a very prestigious university. If we see the overall situation, the number of student has increased over in our institution, but the quality of education has decreased. That's why the overall standard of the civil servant has increased, because from where this lot is coming, it is not a good pool. Your intake is not good. How these people are going to deliver for the nation for that? So the first reason for it is not, I am not talking about the institutional decay of the military. Military में हम देखेंगे कि they got momentum, they gradually improved, except some of a few years. But the military decay, the bureaucracy, it was being taken from the civil service, and there was low standards. And the first and the foremost reason was that the education level decreased in our colleges and universities. That were the, you can say, the electoral college. I should not say, because not election, but at least these were the framework, the reference from where this bureaucracy used to enter into the civil service. The structure of the civil service is still predicated on the now unfounded assumption that the intellectual cream of society applies for and enters the service. अब तो इसका राज जो है वो खुल गया है. पहले क्या था कि इसमें कोई शक नहीं, it was true up to you can say 90, even 19 before 90, that the people who were the cream, very intelligent people, they used to apply for this, because there was very lucrative environment for this, and the people have some of the ambitions and some of the interest to serve the nation. लेकिन अब आप थोड़ा सा देखें कि mechanism कैसे change हुआ है. Having entered the civil service, the poorly educated young officer face a future in which there is an absence of rigorous formal education to equip them professionally. पहले लोगों को क्या होता था कि जी सिविल सर्विस में जाएंगे, जो है वो इस कॉलेज में पढ़ेंगे, उस कॉलेज में जो है वो पढ़ेंगे, नीपा में पढ़ेंगे, फलां निम में पढ़ेंगे. Now the educational level और उनकी जो है वो professional grooming होगी. Definitely they will become at higher stages on the merit, and they will be getting good positions, and they will help serve the nation. अब क्या हुआ? Now the decay has entered into many of the institutions, starting from the NIPA, the staff colleges, and whatever this we will discuss very briefly. The NIPA, the staff college, the militaries, some colleges for this or that. So अब जो है वो उनकी lucration जो है, उनकी lucrativeness जो है वो इसमें कम हो गई. There are three types of institutions which purport to provide a semblance of training to the civil servants. तीन इदारे जो है they are well known in Pakistan. यहाँ हमने कहा कि जो है वो अब civil servants की जो है वो इंटरेस्ट इसमें नहीं है, because they are during their career they are not getting such a rigorous grooming or rigorous education and training that they could become a very good bureaucrats. क्या है जी? पहला है the Pakistan Academy for Administrative Training. It has a very big role in producing the good bureaucrats over the years. It is still providing, but very sorry to say, which organizes courses for each corps of fresh entrance to the civil service. जो भी civil servant शुरू में आता है, ये उनके लिए जो है वो कोर्स डिवाइस करते हैं. अब जरा जो है दूसरा इदारा देख लें, the National Institute of Public Administration (NIPA), which runs courses for officers and the mid stage of their careers, the deputy secretary level. And I have the privilege to be guest speaker in NIPA Peshawars. I have seen that the level of the bureaucracy is not as it should be. वो अपने काम में माहिर होंगे. At least they should be a bit powerful in you can say the academic activities. It is my experience. I don't know that it may be a randomly or you can say a sudden phenomena for this, that there was a lot, or I may not be able to convey my ideas. So there is a decline of the institution. तीसरा बड़ा इदारा क्या है? The Pakistan Administrative Staff College. which imparts training to the senior officials, फेडरल जॉइंट सेक्रेटरीज एंड हेड्स ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट। 3 इदारे हैं, इनको हम ये देखेंगे कि इनके साथ बेचारों के क्या हुआ। किसी ज़माने में द पीपल फील प्राउड दैट दे आर बीइंग ट्रेन्ड बाय दीज इंस्टीट्यूशन, दे स्टिल ट्रेन्ड एंड द ब्यूरोक्रेसी इज स्टिल बीइंग ट्रेन्ड बाय दीज इंस्टीट्यूशन, बट देयर इज नॉट सो रिगरस training, so rigorous academic grooming, so rigorous courses, and now it is a bit easy for a bureaucrat to go through, and there is no threat for any of the bureaucrat that if he is unable to pass this course, what will be the effect? Let's see. In all 3 categories, ये 3 institution जो आपने देखे, there is a virtual absence of high quality faculty. पहला मसला तो इसमें क्या आ गया, that there was unique people or unique faculty that used to travel, used to visit or used to deliver lecture in these staff colleges or NIPA or you can say the academy. Now these faculties are not visiting and these institutions are depending on a second lot of the faculty in terms of the standards. The reasons are many. The one reason is that low incentive to the low incentive to the faculties. They are paying less, much less than that is being paid to the faculty in the local market. So there is no incentive for those people to travel to that one. The other is that it is very difficult to arrange timing with the high level faculty for the administrative. So now there is a two-way dimensions of this. So this has put and deteriorated the level of faculty in these institutions. The reliance is placed almost exclusively on invited speaker who lecture and then leave. हमारा क्या काम था? We delivered the lecture and left. Now we means all the guest speakers like me. We were not responsible for any of the activity. What happened there? Did they get learn or not? We left after that. लेकिन क्या होना चाहिए था कि हमें उनके साथ इंटरेक्शन होना चाहिए था, so that we come to know what problem they faced during the lectures, how they can be removed, how the lecture can be improved over this. So this has just put limitation on this. तो इससे थोड़ा सा म्यार जो है वो और गिर गया है. The courses are superficial. These courses are just इधर उधर से देख के जो है पिक कर लिए जाते हैं, इनका ग्राउंड रियलिटी से तल्लक नहीं है. And the evaluation of the participants so soft as to pose to no greater intellectual change. जब मुझे पता होगा, आपको पता हो कि ये सर का लेक्चर सुने या न सुने, you will go through. I am sure you will prefer to listen songs. किसके? लता के. It is up to you, leaving up to you for what that are those. So the same is happening in these institutions कि जब आपके सामने जो ब्यूरोक्रेसी बैठी हुई है, they have no threat that whether they have to pass this exam or not. So they are taking it very easy, they are taking it for granted, and the teacher comes, teacher also take it for granted. He or she delivers the lecture, left the rooms, go to his hometown, and now there is no communication between them. Then in the next phase, he or she is being contacted again, and he again goes for that. That is making the decay of the bureaucracy institution. The decline in intellectual quality of individual has been the result of erosion institutional mechanism in the civil. अब जो आपकी ब्यूरोक्रेसी आ रही है, इसके 3 फैक्टर पीछे से आया. गिन सकते हैं आप कि कॉलेजेस और यूनिवर्सिटी में एजुकेशन लेवल जो है वो गिर गया है. Do you agree? You are not among those. You are very, very, you can say the potential person, every person, but now there is commercialization of the things that has reduced this level. एक तो आपकी इनपुट जहाँ से ब्यूरोक्रेसी है, दूसरा वो स्टैंडर्ड नहीं है, पॉलिटिसाइजेशन है, वो इंस्टीट्यूशन नहीं है, जो है वो इंसेंटिव ज़्यादा नहीं है. वी विल सी ए लेटर स्टेज दैट द ब्यूरोक्रेट्स आर लीविंग फ्रॉम civil service to the private service. What will be the reason? Arbitrary interventions of political factions at different points, promotion and dismissals of also decrease the efficiency of the civil service. कुछ मौकों पर ऐसे भी हुआ कि जो है वो पॉलिटिकल इसमें जो है वो सिस्टम हो गया. नाउ इट इज यू आर लिसनिंग मैनी ऑफ द न्यूज दैट देयर वाज रिक्रूटमेंट, दैट वाज देयर वर द पॉलिटिकल पीपल इंक्लूडेड इनटू द दिस, एंड इट हैड बीन हैपनिंग इन द अयूब खान dismissed 300 civil servants with one order that they were not performing well. Same did the Bhutto, same did the Yahya. So under this, when this is the situation, the bureaucracy becomes under pressure. So when this was the situation, this also had a negative effect on the grooming of the bureaucracy. The integrity of institution decision making is often undermined by vested interest आउटसाइड द सिविल सर्विस. अब इनको डिसीजन मेकिंग में कोई ज़्यादा रोल नहीं था, पॉलिटिकली जो है वो डिसीजन ज़्यादा जो है वो उसमें जो है वो होते थे, और डेफिनेटली दे हैव लिमिटेड रोल. द इंस्टीट्यूशनल डीके, इट इज़ जस्ट द डीके ऑफ 3 इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ द ब्यूरोक्रेसी. अगर मैं सब इंस्टीट्यूशन की बात करूं जिसने पाकिस्तान का ये हाल कर दिया है, आई थिंक इट विल टेक द सेमेस्टर्स ओवर सेमेस्टर्स टू कंटिन्यू द डिस्कशन. This has resulted in increasing insecurity, corruption and demoralizations of civil service officer. जब सिविल सर्वेंट्स में आप पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविज्म को जो है वो ऐड कर देंगे, यू विल ब्रिंग द पीपल, यू विल चूज एंड पिक द पीपल रेदर देन देयर मेरिट, बट फॉर योर ओन इंटरेस्ट, I am sure that they will face problem. क्या problem है? The civil servants are not now insecure. If they are on the PP side, they have threat from the Nawaz side. If they are on the Nawaz side, they have the real challenges from the PP, and they are anticipating that if in the next election the government change, how they will have to be. तो वो दरमियाना रवैया अख्तियार किए हुए हैं, ना इधर के रहें ना उधर के रहें, और काम भी जो है वो चलता रहे. Now there is influx of the corruption, बहुत ज़्यादा corruption हो गई है, and there is billions of rupees corruption on daily basis in Pakistan. That is the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, and Islam categorically prohibits this corruption. However it is happening, so इसमें भी bureaucracy जो है वो इसका रोल जो है इसको and demoralization of the civil service. जब आपको मेरिट की बुनियाद पर तरक्की नहीं मिलेगी, you will not be preferring that cadre. You will be trying to go through indirect ways, direct ways, shortcuts that you overcome the other. And if a non-eligible person is elevated to a position that is high-ranked position, the people who are eligible, they become nervous and demoralized, and then they also try to work in such a way that they think that okay, काम चलाओ जी, इसमें कुछ नहीं है. Such attitudes may have been enforced by the large-scale dismissals of senior officers. ये क्यों थ्रेट आई है इनमें? मैंने आपको बताया कि भुट्टो साहब ने भी जो है वो लोगों को जो है वो रिमूव किया, and Ayub Khan Sahab also did this, and he did this with only one order. When there is a threat that you can be removed and at any time, no civil servant can work properly at time. For example, जरा देख लें जी, अयूब खान का 1300 है, भुट्टो साहब ने जो है वो 1400 जो है वो कर दिए, and I remember that the Yahya Khan did this 3. Yahya Khan भी ज़्यादा करते, but he has a very small tenure, so relative term they were equally in this time. So this was the politicization, that was the threat, demoralization of this bureaucracy. Fortunately इसमें कोई भी आर्मी ऑफिसर नहीं था. तो अब आप बात मेरी समझ गए होंगे कि मिलिट्री तो आपने जो है वो उसमें करती रही, उसकी जो है वो कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग, इंस्टीट्यूशनल बिल्डिंग होती रही, बट द ऑन द टारगेट वाज द सिविल ब्यूरोक्रेसी. As a structural level, the CSP, Central Services of Pakistan, was the elite cadre within the civil bureaucracy, and its member inherited the. कुछ अर्से तक तो इंडियन सिविल सर्विस वाला म्यार जो है वो बरकरार रहा. इसको मैं ज़्यादा एक्सप्लेन नहीं करूँगा. I have done this. The CSP cadre remained dominant in the bureaucracy and indeed over national decision making right up to the end of the Ayub period. Ayub period के end तक धक्के खाती, डगमगाती bureaucracy, it remained, you can say the major role, it remained powerful even in the decision making due to its competitiveness and its efficiency, because there was the momentum of the अयूब इरा द इंटर सर्विसेज वही अभी सिस्टम चल रहे थे, अगरचे अयूब खान ने इसको जिक पहुंचाई, बट स्टिल देयर वाज द सिस्टम. Z.A. Bhutto eroded the internal cohesion of lateral entry into the service. This is a very a surprise decision by the Bhutto, who introduced the lateral entry. This was a term used for this. What was this lateral entry? This means that the individual who were politically loyal to Mr. Bhutto could be appointed in key civil services position. Bhutto साहब ने सब चीज़ों को bypass जो है वो कर दिया. That was not the true. It was, you can say, the demoralization of the civil servants. Because what the Bhutto said, this is the lateral entry. What this means, if any of the person is loyal not to the state but to the Bhutto, he can be appointed at any of the post, in key post in the civil servant. अब भुट्टो के ज़माने के कई लोग भी होंगे जिसको उसने थोड़ा सा पढ़ा लिखा और वफादार पाया, किसी को कुछ बना दिया, किसी को जो है वो कुछ बना दिया. It was his style to govern. It quite have worked at that time, but it was not justified, and it led to the decay of the bureaucracy. During the days of Zia, the position of the bureaucracy within the structure of power was rehabilitated. Zia ने इस फिर मुर्दा घोड़े में जान डालने की कोशिश की. अयूब ने भी ज़रबें लगाई, भुट्टो ने भी ब्यूरोक्रेसी पे ज़रबें लगाई, and ultimately Zia, who was confident that he can prolong his government through military and the bureaucracy, he also tried to rehabilitate and increase the morale of this bureaucracy. So we can say that this was the rehabilitation of the era of the bureaucracy. Zia gave greater confidence to civil servants by putting an end to the practice of screening civil servants sword. क्या था इससे पहले एक जी टर्म चल रही थी जी, स्क्रीनिंग सिविल सर्वेंट्स, जिसको स्क्रीन किया उसको निकाल दिया. एंड इट वाज द स्वॉर्ड ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी. लटकता जो है, डेमोक्रेसी स्वॉर्ड मींस द हैंगिंग डेंजर फॉर दिस. सो इट वाज डेंजर फॉर ऑल द सिविल सर्वेंट. सो ज़िया put an end to this screening of the civil servant, and they were now more confident. They were not allowed to go through this. इसका मतलब क्या है? Their positions were ensured by the Zia era. General Ziaul Haq gave senior bureaucrats relatively long tenures. The bureaucrats that were efficient and that were working in the accordance with the Zia, they got more tenure as compared to the others, and relatively their tenures were longer. We will see how these people were. In the regimes of Benazir Bhutto, new stress were placed on the structure of the bureaucracy. 1988 से लेकर 1999 तक ये ब्यूरोक्रेसी के लिए बड़ा जो है वो मुश्किल था. ब्यूरोक्रेसी दो पार्ट के दरमियान जो है वो पिस रही थी. Every time we will see that why this was the pressure. So in this the bureaucracy has to go through a different structure for this. It was due to the political conflict between the PP government at the center and the opposition government in Punjab, the largest province. दिलचस्प सूरत हाल क्या पैदा हुई? In the center there was the government of the Pakistan People's Party led by the Benazir was the Prime Minister, Ishaq Khan, that was not from the PP, he was the President of Pakistan. But the military ये 1988 के इलेक्शन आज़ादाना नहीं थे, वरना पीपल पार्टी मेरे ख्याल में बड़ी भारी अक्सरियत से जीत जाती. तो ये मिलिट्री ने जो घुघु घोड़े बनाए थे, जो सिस्टम बनाया था, what happened in the Punjab, the Nawaz Sharif got majority. Now there was the tussle between the Nawaz Sharif and the Benazir. Benazir जो ब्यूरोक्रेसी थी सेंटर से उसे ऑर्डर जाते थे. At that time the provinces were not as strong as now, they are under the 18th amendment. So the province that was the Nawaz Sharif, he deliberately used to violate the orders of this द सेंटर। उसके पीछे जो है ब्यूरोक्रेसी और जो है वो मिलिट्री जो है वो डेफिनेटली मिलिट्री नहीं चाहती थी कि इनके दरमियान कोऑर्डिनेशन हो, एंड दैट वाज द वेरी वेरी कर्स्ड एरा ऑफ पाकिस्तान। नवाज शरीफ और बेनज़ीर एक दूसरे के जो है वो खिलाफ थे, यही लोग जो है वो चाहते थे और उसके नताज खासे भुगतने पड़े। बट नाउ नवाज शरीफ एंड द पीपी आर हैव लर्नड सो मच दैट इवन इफ anyone says to them military bureaucracy, they will not come in front of each other. उन्हें पता है कि जब बिल्लियों की लड़ाई होती है तो बंदर जो है वो बांट के खुद जो है वो निकल जाता है. That is the military for this. The historically unprecedented contention of power between the federal and the Punjab province was often done by manipulating individual or group. ये कैसे जो है वो होता था? This was being done by individuals of the individual bureaucrat or a group of bureaucrats. For example, if Benazir wanted to have IG in Punjab, he used to give it from the center. That was denied there. If federal government wants to withdraw or transfer some of the services of some civil servants, high civil servants from the Punjab, it was not obeyed in this way. Two examples are very famous in the history of this era: transfer of civil servants, पीपल्स प्रोग्राम फॉर डेवलपमेंट. ट्रांसफ़र ऑफ सिविल सर्वेंट में क्या है कि 4 बड़े सिविल सर्वेंट्स की जो है वो बेनज़ीर ने जो है वो ट्रांसफ़र की फ्रॉम पंजाब टू द फेडरेशन और द सेंटर. बट द पंजाब गवर्नमेंट दैट वाज लेड बाय द नवाज शरीफ है, उस वक्त बहुत चहेते थे नवाज शरीफ जो है वो दूसरे जो है वो मिलिट्रीज एंड अदर के, क्योंकि आपको पता है कि ज़िया साहब ने उन्हें जो है वो खासा बूम जो है वो दिया. बट लेटर ऑन ही हैज़ बिकम ए वेरी वेरी नाउ सीरियस पॉलिटिशियन एंड ही हैज़ लर्नड लॉट फ्रॉम द प्रीवियस वन. उस वक्त जो है वो उसको डिनाई गया. दूसरा था पीपल्स प्रोग्राम फॉर डेवलपमेंट. दिस वाज प्रोग्राम launched by the People Party government in the Punjab province for the well-being in the Pakistan for the well-being of the rural people. But the Nawaz Sharif denied this, and he said that it is the usurpy and it is a one way to control over the resources of the province. At that time the psyche was this, we need not to discuss in this, but that was not a good time. Contrary to the bureaucracy, अब bureaucracy को हम जरा छोड़ देते हैं, आते हैं जी मिलिट्री की तरफ. Contrary to the bureaucracy, the military, there has been a significant improvement in the each spheres. Bureaucracy का जरा तज्जिया कर लें. Overall, if I want to say, it is on decline. कई इसमें पॉलिटिकल फैक्टर आ गए. लेटेस्ट जो आया वो टसल है जो है वो इन गवर्नमेंट्स के दरमियान. और अब अगर आप देखें तो अब जुडिशरी ने इतना जो है वो तंग किया हुआ है दैट द एवरी सिविल सर्वेंट्स इज feared of the scared and feared of the judges, particularly of the Supreme Court, led by the active Chief Justice Iftikhar Muhammad Chaudhry. In the military, the officer has to study and acquire new skills and pass an examination at each stage of promotion ladder. प्रमोशन के हर स्टेज पर फ्रॉम colonel to the brigadiers and the lieutenant generals, every time they have to pass some of the courses. So it means military ने अपनी ग्रूमिंग और प्रमोशन पे जो है वो compromise जो है वो नहीं किया. हुआ क्या इसमें? Over the last not only the 40 but the 66 years, the military has developed a sophisticated infrastructure of education from military public schools, colleges for professional training in various fields. उधर ब्यूरोक्रेसी के जो इंस्टीट्यूशन थे they were under the political governments, so they went on under the decay. But at this time the army took control, and army did not compromise on the education on the public schools, colleges, the cadet colleges and other training institutions. There was tough and the rigorous training of many of the militaries, and it remained and it is compulsory for every officer to go for the next promotion, that he or she goes through some different rigorous courses or the procedures. The two institutions, वहाँ जो है वो हमने 3 institution देखे, civil bureaucracy के. The two institutions in the later category, that is the Command and Staff College Quetta for majors and lieutenant colonels. For their development, there is a very, very famous college that is called the Command and Staff College Quetta. Well-known college, really proudable to study there, and it has created the personnel that have real worth for this. Although our military dictators were also the production of this Command and Staff College, but it is not the fault of Command and Staff College Quetta, but it was the circumstances, it was the personal desires of some of the people that ultimately led to this one. The second is the National Defence College Rawalpindi. That is now the National Defence University Islamabad also. This is for the brigadiers and the above generals, not only provide training in defence planning and war gaming. ये कई शोबों में जो है इनको जो है वो ट्रेनिंग जो है वो for the military, they provide military officers, they provides training in many of the different fields for this. The quality of teaching staff, the methods of instruction, and the intensity and rigor of the study programs make them into genuine content centers of excellence. इन अगर आप दो इदारों में देखें, teaching staff is highly qualified, methods of instructions are up to the modern standards, the intensity and rigor of the study programs make them into genuine. तो जो जब इन्होंने compromise जो है वो नहीं किया, it has been that's why the military has been a powerful or the gradual improvement in the military capacity building. And it is I would like to share that I have also been the privileges to be the visiting professor at the National Defence University Islamabad. So I have seen their internal environment, so I can say that the environment of this university is different from the others. There are the military bureaucrats, and you can see that their level, or at least in professionalism, they are much different from the others. And so I would like to share my experience. I have shared of both the civil bureaucracy and the military bureaucracy. Civil bureaucracy in the NIPA Peshawar, I have twice or thrice opportunities to deliver a guest lecture, being a guest speaker there. So I have also the opportunity to have interaction with the military, like the brigadiers and the other, but I can see the much and difference between that. The civil bureaucrats are non-serious because due to many reasons that they need not to face challenges of going through the examination, and there is immediate dealings between the civil bureaucracy and the guest speaker. But in the National Defence University, I can see that the military, they show that they are serious in their training, they are taking the course regularly, even they are despite their limitations due to this mobility, and definitely they are higher rank of the army, they are well in time and they are more serious as compared to the others that are the civilians. The guiding principle of the training program, once a professor of the Staff College Quetta was asked, what is the guiding principle that has led the gradual improvement in the standards of the military officers? So what he said to develop a mind that can think on its own. His answer was very precise, that they try to develop a mind of such kind of mind that can think on its own, that does not take anything for granted. They take the things, even minute things, importance, and they can think independently. So if this is the motto of some of the training college, some of the college that is producing a lot of the military officers, you can see what will be the standard of this. The military remains superior in capacity building over civilian. सिविलियन ब्यूरोक्रेसी की भी 3 इंस्टीट्यूशन जो हमने डिस्कस किए, दे वर वेल रिप्यूटेड, दे आर स्टिल वेल रिप्यूटेड, but by comparison now in relative term, now they are at the back side as compared to the military. So the military got superiority over the years. At the same time, it has developed a powerful corporate image of itself. Military ने over time ये भी prove किया है that they are a good businessman, and if you are want to see the a good discussion of this, you can go for the Military and Corporate by Aisha Siddiqa. The book name may be different by the words. Even after they retire, they know they will be looked after. आप ये देखें कि वो कहते हैं ना कि हाथी जिंदा जो है वो लाख का और जो है वो मरने के बाद 1.25 लाख का. This is happening with the military officers. They are warm welcomed in many of the institutions, and they are given high and key positions because they have proved their worth. They are good administrators and they can look after the institutions. So this has increased their corporate image for this. Given a whole range of military run welfare societies, हाउसिंग सोसाइटीज़ आप देख लेंगे जी, डिफेंस हाउसिंग सोसाइटीज़ एंड मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट वेयर पोस्ट रिटायरमेंट सर्विस कैन बी साट. इन तमाम शोबों में जिनका नाम हुआ कि जी वेलफेयर सोसाइटीज़ जो है, हाउसिंग सोसाइटीज़, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सोसाइटीज़, द मिलिट्री ऑफिसर्स आर वेलकम्ड आफ्टर द रिटायरमेंट देयर. सो दिस वाज द स्टोरी ऑफ द मिलिट्री, एंड दिस after this we will see the relationship between military and the bureaucracy. मिलिट्री को हमने अलग कंटेक्स्ट में डिस्कस किया, ब्यूरोक्रेसी को अलग किया, और हम ये तीसरा जो हमारा होगा कि हम इनको लिंक करेंगे कि किसने पावर, which got the more power, which got the less power, because and we have seen the powerfulness of one institution, the army, and the decay of the institutions of the bureaucracy. So it's time to the curtain to fall. So I would like to wind up my discussion of this lecture by giving you the summary. So if I go to the summary slides and deliver the summary, today we started from looking into that how the military and the bureaucracy became powerful over the years, that rather than the political regime, how they got their powers, and ultimately then there was internal comparison between the military and the bureaucracy. These are the public administration. These has been the public administration over the years. We started from the very basic period, from the very initial stage of 1947, and we saw that over the years the civil bureaucracy went into decline due to many reasons. What was the biggest reason? That the education level of the colleges and the universities has declined from where this bureaucracy is being taken. Then there was some of the other interference from the judicial, from the Ayub Khan and the Bhuttos, giving, removing many of the civil servants with only one order. That demoralized the civil bureaucracy. And after this, there was also that the 3 main institutions that give contribute to the improvement and the gradual evolution of the military of the bureaucracy officer, they went under decay due to many reasons. Faculty was not good there, courses are superficial, no link between the faculty and the others, and many other things. Then leaving the bureaucracy aside, coming to the military, we saw that during this haphazardness, military got the momentum for this. Military को करना भी चाहिए, because the 33rd half of the history of the Pakistan is being ruled by the military officer. However, the other reasons were also there. The staff and the Command and Staff College Quetta, that has a significant role. It is a pre-partition college, and it trains military officer up to a very you can say rigorous level. And the other is that each military officer, to reach the highest rank, he has to go through a systematic courses to systematic barriers to cross. For this, for which he need rigorous academic rigorous training, academic learning, and these others. After this, there was the National Defence College, Rawalpindi. Also now there is National Defence University. So this is, यहाँ पर जो है वो आपको देखेंगे that there is no compromise on the faculty, there is no compromise on the courses. The administration is very strong, and in this way we say the military is did not allow to erode its capacity building. In the next lecture we will see the link between the military power and the bureaucracy part, and then we will conclude and we will go into some other regime or new and other topic of that have the different dimension. So it is time to leave for me. Goodbye and Allah Hafiz.